Coming up today once again, and I've got all the overlays set up. I was a little bit late today, but that's fine. It's only about 4 minutes, could have been worse. But let's have a look at who is going to be our first matchup, and let's go from there. Actually, let's have a look at the standings first, because I finally fixed the table. The table is completely working and everything, so that's pretty good. So let's actually head on over to here, and let's take a look. So, as you can see, at the top of Group A, you have SK Alpha and DM currently. SK Alpha completely dominating Group A with 5 wins, 0 losses. And DM doing pretty well themselves. They're on 3 wins, 1 loss. And in Group B, we have a tie currently with Seoul 3-0 at the moment. They have not, or they've not played their 4th game. That's going to be coming up on Friday. But IRK and White Clan both completely even. 3 wins, 1 losses. 3 wins, 1 loss, and 11 player wins and 5 player losses for both teams as well. So really neck and neck there. That could go either way. There are 2 weeks of games left for both of those teams. So it's going to be quite interesting to see who is going to come out on top of that group. I think it's going to take a miracle for someone to overtake SK Alpha. But it's actually quite close between Red and DM and Net Wars as well. Net Wars, of course, going to be playing today alongside the other team from Group 1 that we're going to see, pSi Storm. They're not doing as well, unfortunately, not really too much they can do, I don't think. They would need a miracle to actually make it to the playoffs in round 1, but of course, this is just round 1. There's still 2 rounds to come up, or sorry, still 3 rounds to come after this. So they've still got a lot of chance to make it to those grand finals at most likely the end of the year, maybe a little bit sooner, depends on how everything times out, but it is going to be a long tournament, I've said that before. But hopefully all the chat is working and everything and nothing's going to go wrong. But let's actually just have a look at what teams we're going to be seeing today, as it should be a fairly fun matchup. So, as I mentioned, we're going to have Net Wars versus pSi Storm. Net Wars are going to need this game to actually come even on match wins and losses with DM. And pSi Storm are going to need this to stand any chance whatsoever of making it into the first round playoffs. But they are going to be fighting hard. They've not had the best of luck so far, but they've still done a fairly good job. Now let's have a look at what maps we're going to be seeing today. Week 5 maps again. So it's going to be starting off with Judgment Day, moving on to Sinchapungryung, moving on to New Empire of the Sun, moving on to Pathfinder, and finally, for the ace match, if we do get there, to Gladiator. Now let's have a look at what players we're going to be seeing in this set. A lot of good players today. Really cool to see a lot of these. We're starting off with a TVP between koget and Prase. And then going to be moving on to a... just trying to think of the best music that isn't going to get me muted, but either way this should be fine. But yeah, we're going to move it on to a PBT between Mazur and Marine, going on to a TBZ between Radley and Cold, and then finally we'll be moving on to a ZBZ between Zero and Mitax, so that should be a lot of fun. Let's actually just have a look at the players and their stats just to see who's going to be in the first game today. I know it says there, but here we go. Gonna be starting off with koget versus Prase. Koget been doing pretty well so far. He does have a 66% win rate. He's played in all 3 of Net Wars games so far, so a pretty consistent appearance from him. And his opponent is going to be Prase from pSi Storm. Now, pSi Storm has won his only game. He did debut in their last week's match, so should be cool to see if he does managed to play pretty well and manages to get through here. But let's actually have a look at what map they're going to be playing on. It's going to be Judgment Day, and of course this is a TVP. Now TVP so far been fairly balanced according to the stats across Clash Royale and STPL so far. There's been a lot of them that haven't actually been recorded in Clash Royale, but with STPL every game's getting recorded, so want to make sure that keeps up as well. Just to make sure we don't miss any of the action and of course miss any of the stats and things like that, because it all does add up. Obviously, there's going to be different maps in round 2, which should be announced shortly. But for now, we are still on round 1. This is week 5. Let's actually have a look at the game. Let's not waste too much more time. And let's start our night off with a wonderful TVP between Koget and Prase. Okay, hopefully. Okay. I always worry something's going to go wrong at the start, but it looks like it's okay. And starting us off in the... okay, I need to turn the game music down because I can't hear myself, which is... like, as in I'm talking and I can't hear anything. All my settings reset again. But hopefully you guys can still hear the game music in the background. If someone could confirm that, that'd be pretty great. It's a bit weird, but my chat doesn't seem to have connected, so I don't know if there's anyone there. But if someone can, just confirm the sound levels are okay just before we get fully into it. But as I said, starting us off in the top right position, we do have the purple Terran. It's going to be Koget. And his opponent spawning down here in the bottom left, bottom left position even. I don't know what... I second guessed myself there. It's going to be Remastered Pig. Now, I'm fairly certain that's Prase. But I actually don't know. So, I'm going to call him Prase throughout the game. But if it is wrong, someone please do correct me. The trouble is, I seem to remember this. But Prase's name in its in his native tongue means, I'm fairly certain, I think it means pig, and I think his name is a pun on that, so not really too sure. But Koget going with the depot barracks wall on the diagonal allows the zealot, allows the marine to get through and not the zealot, just playing a little bit safer. Knows that zealot aggression is quite popular on this map. If there is no ramp leading up to your main, which makes it a little bit harder. Of course, there is this small choke, which you can build a turret or a pylon in, but nothing bigger, so you can actually block that a little bit later on when you do have a turret, but kind of not worth it. You can actually see the little odd outline in the textures there, which does show where you can do it. Now, one interesting feature about this map, if you've not played it before, is there is a mineral in the third out in front of both of your natural and your main. The natural's just in the fog of war over here with the gas. And basically, it plays a little bit, I'm probably going to get the map name wrong here, but it plays a little bit like Guillotine, or Guillotine, where basically you have the natural a little bit sectioned off from the main, so you do have 2 chokes to defend, but you can defend it from the front choke here. Now, hopefully I did get that map right. That was a map from before I actually started playing, so bit of an old map there. I think it was around 2007. Neo Guillotine came out, but Koget looks like he's going for, looks like it's going to be a siege expand, could be an FD, it all depends on how many marines he does choose to add. But Koget's SCV not really scouting in the perfect route. He's going to see the probe though, so I wonder if that will tip him off that he does need to go to the bottom left. Looks like he won't, so he's going to scout the Protoss the latest possible time, and if he doesn't get in there soon, he's not going to. Now this Dragoon is going to be able to block this area here. And here we go. It looks like Koget's scouting around, making sure there's no hidden pylons or anything crazy like that in his natural. Wants to make sure he doesn't die to anything stupid. Meanwhile, Prase back at home is going to be adding on his 3rd pylon in his main, so nothing too crazy from him. And this Dragoon looks like it might be moving out to try and intercept this SCV here. But if he doesn't, that could be a nice scouting path for Koget to make, but the 2nd Dragoon has just finished. So this SCV shouldn't actually be able to get in and really scout too much, but looks like he has let it pass. He's not got the perfect micro down there. I think he was just trying to A-move across the map with that Dragoon, and it just so happened to find the SCV. But this is a very, very important scout for Koget. He's going to see that there's a robotics facility. He's going to see there's a pylon. This means Reavers are incredibly likely here. Looks like we will actually have most likely a siege expand here. No, it's going to be an FD. Only going for 3 Marines though, knowing that he doesn't need to get too many now, but it wouldn't surprise me to see a few more added on now. He's actually going to lift his barracks, move it out the way, and we should see a command center coming up here very, very shortly for him. Now there is only 3 Dragoons, of course 3 Marines not that strong against Dragoons, but they do tank a little bit of damage. And we do of course have this Vulture, it does have Spider Mines as well, so that's going to help push these Dragoons back while he gets his expansion. This is one of the major benefits of going for that FD style. It does give you the ability to push the Dragoons back on the map. Of course you would normally get some more Marines with this, but looks like Koget feels a little bit safer with his 3 Marines, going to just try and get as much damage done. But Pig or Prase could actually come back in and snipe that tank. So Koget playing a little bit greedy. Of course he does have some Vulture moving up the map. I was going to say it wouldn't surprise me if we saw speed here, but he's going to go for siege mode, wants to make sure he gets that up for when the Reavers get to his base. We obviously have the first Reaver on the way. Shuttle speed is on the way as well. And the barracks going to be used as part of a wall here. Wouldn't surprise me at all to see a bunker go down and some Marines be added, because it's going to be a while before he actually has any form of anti-air here. Is he actually going to add... Is he going to add a 3rd command center? Yes, he is. So he's going 3 command centers behind mines. And this is going to be a very powerful play, but he does need to be wary. If he doesn't get an armory soon or a starport, he could get severely caught off guard here by the Reaver. The first Reaver should be popping out very shortly. Observatory on the way. And finally we should see Pig as well, going to add on his expansion, but Koget needs to be careful. If he's not careful, he could actually lose a lot to the Reavers here, and he doesn't really have that many units, as he is just on one factory still. And looks like Pig waiting to try and build the Nexus, doesn't quite have enough minerals. But Koget's going to be feeling pretty good. If he can secure these bases very quickly, he is going to be in a very, very good position. The engineering bay is on its way, which is going to allow him to build some turrets to try and deter the Reaver from getting into the base. But still, this is going to be a pretty dangerous position for him to be in to begin with. And here we go, the Reaver looking like it's going to move into the main right now. Maybe even going to sit at the 3rd. There's not really any siege tanks here, other than, I mean, they're not sieged. So he could do a lot of damage with this. I don't think Koget's seen this yet. And finally he'll see it, but how much damage is he going to take? This is going to be a huge Scarab if it manages to fire, but no! Only gets 1 unit so far. Nice Scarab on the tanks though. Gonna make it a little bit easier to clean those up later. Another 2 turrets are being added on. He wants to try and deal with this. Now, this is a very interesting place for him to drop, of course. He cannot kill the units over here. But oh, the shuttle's actually going to get caught in the main. The shuttle's going to go down even. And this Reaver is complete cannon fodder. Perfect defense by Koget so far. A little bit of mismanagement of the Reaver. I mean, it's still going to get a few tanks. And a few units even. But that Reaver goes down to that tank there. And Koget is going to be feeling incredible right now. He's got his armory here. He can start adding on +1. He's going to start flooding factories shortly as well. And Pig knows he needs to move out onto the map and knows he needs to try and do something, at least clear some mines, gather some more of a better position on the map while he secures his own 3rd and possibly 4th base. 2nd and 3rd gateways now on the way. Citadel as well. And Pig could be walking out of the flames into the fire here as he does move up to the 3rd base of Koget. But Koget has a wall. He has all the required pieces to try and hold on to this. He may lose the supply depot, but really, really nice repair. Can the repair coming quick enough? No, it can't. So the wall has been breached, but once again, there are 3 tanks here. What on earth is Pig going to do? He just needs to sit back, needs to try and expand, as there's not really anything he's going to be able to do here. Now he is going to start adding on some more gateways. 4th gateway on the way. Citadel, of course, just finishing up. Looks like we are actually going to have a 2nd Reaver come in here. Now, due to a little bit of unfortunate pathing, this poor probe is stuck behind the minerals, and until The 740 of mined out, that is not going to get out there. He didn't pick it up with a shuttle, which is kind of questionable, but we saw that happen in an ASL game as well, so it's not like it's the end of the world. This game is very difficult, guys. If you've never played it, I do recommend you give it a try. It will be quite hard to begin with, but do not give up. It's worth it in the end. But here we go. Koget's got really, really nice turret placement. It's going to be very difficult. Oh, the mine could be huge, but no. The Reaver's going to get in the mineral line. The SCVs have not been pulled. A huge Scarab getting at least 3, and that's another 4. And he could even get some more here, but the Reaver ran out of Scarabs, unfortunately. But here we go. The shuttle going into the main. There's no turret here. The shuttle's going to go down, so he's going to lose this Reaver. But how much damage can he do beforehand? Another 2 SCVs do go down. Can he get any more? It looks like he's getting out one more, but the Reaver is gonna fall. And slowly but surely, I mean, Koget losing these SCVs, yes, it's a big deal, but he does have 3 CCs worth of production. Is he actually building up all 3 as well? Yes, he is. Really, really nice SCV production here by Koget, showing why he's one of the better foreign Terran players at the moment as well. +1 upgrade, nearly finished for him. 3 factories, not really. Oh, there we go. 4, 5, and 6 as well. 7 too. Should see him go up to about 9 factories. Of course, he only has 2 gas at the moment, but this poor Goliath, not long for this world, going to go down to those Dragoons. But he is in such an incredible position against Pig here. Pig only is now getting his 3rd Nexus that does not have a gas. It's going to help him get some more gateways and some more zealots, but he's going to start needing to add those gas units on. Start to add on that tech, and oh, this could be a big mine if the zealots run a little bit too far over. But no, they are conga lining away from it. Now, I almost feel like Pig is going to try and bust here, but he must know that this isn't going to be possible. His army gets scanned. He's adding on more and more zealots to try and get this up. But here we go. Looks like Pig is going to take that all-important force base. Why? Why is Pig trying to push in here? This is a huge mistake. I don't think this is going to do anything. He is using this as a desperation move, and this is something he cannot afford to be doing. All of Koget's units are going to build up in a second. They are going to unsiege and move across the map, and no... Okay, that is probably not a GG, but I'm going to say GG, and Pig leaves against Koget before getting the 4th base. I mean, that was a very, very questionable decision. But maybe he felt like he was too far behind, like maybe he didn't think he could come into a macro game against Koget. But either way, that was a little bit unfortunate. Bit sad that was the way the game ended, but you know what? That's how things happen sometimes, not really too much we can do about that. I'm going to report the game, and let's head on over to the next game as quickly as possible. So let me just start up some music as well. So that's all going. Yeah, that was really, really nicely played by Koget there. He actually didn't really skip a beat on his macro. And I get the feeling this song is very, very loud, so I'm going to turn this down. But yeah, pretty cool game by him. Let me just report that. I will bring up the next 2 players and the next